there is something going on in a rift in the ruling elite about whether they should continue to allow this genocide, at least at the level. It's not like they're going to turn against Israel. They just kind of, they want to like ease off. Just like, can we back it up a little bit? You've got the Trump administration avoiding Israel in these various decisions. Then within like a day or two, you have both the Independent, major British outlet, the Guardian, another major British outlet. The Guardian especially, though, has become increasingly just mainstream propaganda. And yet both of them within the last 2 days have not just posted an editorial or an opinion piece, but this is by the entire independent editorial board. And they put out their statement saying, end the deafening silence on Gaza. It is time to speak up. The total shutdown of aid has shown that the Israeli government's shameful aim is to starve and deprive the entire population of Gaza, combatant and civilian alike. Keir Starmer must find his voice, yeah, like he ever had one, and urge Donald Trump and all world leaders to call on Netanyahu to end the aid blockade. So you've got the Independent. Again, this is not just some person, right? Because sometimes they'll post a, opinion piece. Israel sucks. But this is actually the entire editorial board. And you have the same thing from The Guardian. Again, it's like within days of each other. The Guardian view on Israel and Gaza. Trump can stop this horror. The alternative is unthinkable. The U.S. president has the leverage to force through a ceasefire. If he does not, he will implicitly signal approval of what looks like a plan of total destruction. As if it already hasn't been a plan of total destruction. Oh, yeah, just recently, it seems like Israel might be doing some bad stuff. But anyway, I'm sure if I go through this entire article, I'd have a million complaints with their wording and the way they describe things. But that's kind of not the point. The point is, you have the entire editorial board of these mainstream, quote unquote, legacy newspapers turning against Israel in the past couple days. Then you also have one of the biggest and disgusting, quote unquote, liberal propagandist for the New York Times, Thomas Friedman, total propagandist, total pro-Israel and everything. Even he put out his opinion piece. This is Israeli government. Wow, could I trip over that anymore? This Israeli government is not our ally. And, the complaint of this easily could be that this is a new tactic to try and pin it on the specific government rather than acknowledging that this is an entire mindset of a settler colonial state, apartheid theocracy. It is not just one government. If you remove Netanyahu, you'd probably have less destruction in Gaza, but you would not have not an oppressive theocracy. You would not have, they're not going to treat Gaza well if they replace Netanyahu. In fact, many of the people that seem closest to replacing Netanyahu were somehow more right-wing than him, which I can't even imagine. Anyway, so this is Thomas Friedman, longtime disgusting shill for New York Times. Even he is trying to tell Donald Trump that the Israeli government is not our ally. And when you see things like this all align within a couple of days, the Independent, the Guardian, New York Times, it's possible I've missed a few. Maybe Washington Post put out something. There's coordination. Something's going on. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that the big guy in the dark room picked up a phone and said, "Hello, Guardian editor-in-chief. You will now tell Israel to back off." It's not necessarily that. It can be that these outlets were looking for an opening where they thought they could have an impact. Now, it might be the guy in the dark room. It absolutely might. I'd say 44% chance creepy guy in the dark room made a phone call. But something seems to be changing. Something seems to be changing.